Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Cortez. So, for our lesson, Technology for Teaching and Learning, we are now in week number 7, title, Productivity Software. And for those who have not yet taken the prelim exam today, it is still open until like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock today, no? Even if you don't have yet the permit for prelim exam, you can still take the exam. But I will just defer the recording of the result of the exam. Okay, and for our lesson today, I will just lay down first the objectives, the learning outcomes of our lesson. So just to reiterate, you start your lesson by having the learning outcomes of the students, not necessarily the objectives of the topic, but the learning outcomes. Ito yung we are focused on the learnings. What are the students capable or learners capable of doing after taking the lesson? Because we have this outcome-based education being used in tertiary level and the basic education, high school and senior high school. So we have here first after this lesson, hopefully we can or you can identify the features and functions of common productivity software na pwedeng gamitin, like the word processing software, the Microsoft Word, the Google Documents. Sa spreadsheet naman, ito yung mga Microsoft Excel, the Google Sheet na pwede natin gamitin. Sa presentation naman, ito yung mga Microsoft PowerPoint, the Canva, the Google Slide na pwedeng gamitin natin. And mga collaboration tools like this one, Microsoft Excel is being used, the Oracle Moodle is being used. And explain the role of productivity software, enhancing efficiency and academic, professional, and personal tasks. Sa gamit ng mga software sa atin like the Excel, the Word, siyempre Excel will be used in computing the grades, no? Kasi most schools will give you the template for the Microsoft Excel, and you will just enter the grades, and automatically the Excel will compute the grades, the overall grades. Tulad dito sa BMC, it will give you the template and mag-encode nila kayo ng mga grades niya. Then automatically mayroon siyang summary. It will summarize the prelim, the midterm, and the pre-final, the finals. So very useful para sa atin. Because if I recall before, when way back like mga 1998, pag nag-compute ng grades, talagang mano-mano na, but pwede may Excel na pwedeng gamitin. And at the end of the lesson, you can create, edit, and format documents using word processing. So we are also using software, madalas Microsoft Word. Siyempre po mga examinations ang ating i-prepare sa Microsoft Word or Google Documents ang ating gagamitin. And let us try if saan natin pwedeng gamitin yung mga software na to. So, example yung PowerPoint is, dati, padalas we are using PowerPoint, but now, we can use the Canva in presenting something. And those are the objectives, and these are the topics. Ito yung laman ng ating PowerPoint for today: definition, productivity, the different productivity software for used by the teachers, for used by the students, and some course management software, learning management system like the Moodle, the MS Team, mga common, the Google Classroom. And lastly, the ICT policies and safety issues in teaching and learning. So ito yung ating mga laman ng ating topic for today. And hoping that you will sit down, listen, and finish this lesson until the end ng ating presentation. Alright, so this one, productivity software naman na ginagamit sa classroom. Mga software, typically they are more on base application, pero mga software na ginagamit din natin sa classroom. Example, word processing, spreadsheet, database management, na pwedeng gamitin. Some types of this software na pwedeng gamitin sa classroom, although ito yung ginagamit padala sa mga work environment, sa mga business. Okay. First one, of course, you are familiar, no need to introduce, no need to discuss deeply, Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is the most popular software programs in the world, used by millions of office workers. Okay, meron siyang ability to enter and format text sa mga students. They can experiment, no? Anong klaseng format, depende sa document na kanilang ginagawa. Example, pinagawa mo sila ng certificate, ng diploma, for example, anong text ang bagay? So they can experiment sa mga format ng text. Okay, so Microsoft Word uses and key features make it so important in the academic discipline, and considered one of the most widely used educational application by students and teachers by making innovative methods of teaching and learning. Example, transforming raw data into meaningful and useful information. Hindi na ako to edit. Pag may Microsoft Word, the students will be forced how to edit, will be educated how to edit. Yung pala mga sinusulat kasi may mga autocorrect, di ba? May mga autocorrect, automatic nila naman ng students yung correct spelling, correct pronunciation. Kasi nagkukulay rin siya, di ba? Microsoft Word can benefit teachers and students to create new innovative methods of learning and teaching. Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office Suite for students help to transmit educational materials and practice. So gamit pa ng Microsoft Word, like the students are writing letters, writing memos, writing reports, writing researches, writing term papers, novels, magazines, kasi you can format na Microsoft Word, diba, into a magazine format. Yung bang you as a student to come out with a magazine format just using Microsoft Word. Although may mga apps na ginagamit talaga natin in publishing, like desktop publishing, like Canva, pero ang challenge dito, just using Microsoft Word as a student to come out with a magazine format. Yan. Microsoft lang yung gamit. Okay, next, the Microsoft Excel naman na ginagamit. Ito for teachers muna. No? Sabi, teachers can use table styles, shape, chart, data tools, and formulas to teach students in the classroom. Students can learn and solve basic and logical mathematical problems and statistics in Excel. Okay? May mga stat naman talagang features ang Microsoft Excel. Although hindi lahat ng students, I don't know sa high school, meron na rin pa Microsoft Excel. Tinuturo ako sa mga accounting, recording transactions or using Microsoft Excel pag walang available na ng mga applications. You can create charts, tables, example, columns, may rows, diba? Adding the columns, adding the rows para sa table, no? And creating graph, creating pie chart, creating line graph by using Excel. And another use of Excel
For teachers to schedule periods, teachers can insert period planner by using the template function in Excel. Now, lipat naman tayo sa mga gamit ng Excel sa mga estudyante natin. So, these are for the students. Students can do and learn the past test calculation sa Excel. Dati nag-add sila ng using calculator. Ngayon, they can add hundreds of rows na naka-auto-sum. You just click the auto-sum and automatic. Yeah? Pero sa mga summation, they can format, they can put color sa tables. Diba? So dito, they can format the spreadsheet. Hindi lang sila nagta-type ng mga numbers. Okay? Kasi they should know, ako natuto ko saan pag manipulate ang formula. Wala naman ako masyadong training sa Excel. But I have been using Excel for the last 28 years now. 28 years. I started using this 1994. Close to 30 years na pala. Close to 30 years, ginagamit ko yung Excel. So medyo nakabisado ko na sa example, manipulating the formulas ng Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel application explores creativity in students. Example, finance and economics are the most important part of our life. If students are strong in financial education, mga students naman may inclination to be finance managers, to be accountant. Ayan, nagagamit nila yung Microsoft Excel. Students can learn how the calculations is performed. Ayan, so malaman mo kasi ang formula. You can manipulate the formula kasi lumalabas naman, di ba? Yung formula sa Microsoft Excel. So they can manipulate, nalalaman nila paano siya gumagana, and they will now appreciate kung paano gumagana ang formula. Ganito pala siya. So they can manipulate the formula kasi naiintindihan na nila, no? Yung formula. So they can add more. Students can learn how data is visualized. Presentation naman to, no? Ang hindi lang mathematical Excel, you can use also Excel in presentation. Yung maganda mag-present ng present ng data na meron sa mga kulay, paano magdadagdag ng amount. Yan. So ito, this one, I have like an example here ng Excel ito. Data reports in Excel. Yan. So marami siyang column, di ba? So the students will now understand. For example, product, computer, yung product ako, the product's computer. Pagkano isa? 15,000. Okay? Ilan ang bibilhin? 10. So multiply 15,000 times 10. Okay? That is 150,000. Tapos, dadagdagan ng tax sa 3,000, dadagdagan ng VAT na 18,500. Okay? Tapos, may discount na 4,500. Kaya naging 168,000. So, mga learners, isipin nila, paano nag-arrive sa 168,000? Yung pala, 150,000, pagdagdagan 3,000, dagdagan 19,500, tapos ibawas yung 4,500. At 168,000 yung kalalabasan. And so they know how to appreciate how do they present. Diba? They can even make this presentation creatively. Pwede siyang kulayan. Diba? They can add more rows, add more columns. Ito naman ay may PowerPoint. Use of the default templates can improve the clarity and the arrangement of a presentation. Dating ginagamit namin, overhead projector, OHP. Some of you have not experienced using a OHP. Kasi projector na ginagamit natin ngayon yung acetate ginagamit namin. PowerPoint is able to perform a variety of manipulations such as editing text sa slide mismo for printing. O di ba, pag nagpa-PowerPoint ka, nalaman natin, ang text pala natin, for example, in creating PowerPoint, dapat 18 size ng font. Pataas. Pag masyadong maraming lines, mga 7 lines lang ang dapat sa PowerPoint, sa slide. Para kita, no? Tapos huwag mababa sa 18 ang font size para visible pa rin kahit malayo. PowerPoint is also fun to be applied and fun to watch. It is not hard to learn in 1 hour. It allows the users to reflect on a lesson and correct any changes. Can make the PowerPoint interact, mga advanced PowerPoint. You can make the PowerPoint more interactive. Using PowerPoint improve the students' learning motivation, increasing authentic materials for study, encouraging interaction between the teacher and the students. Kasi nga, depende sa PowerPoint mo, no? Pag yung PowerPoint puro text lang, hindi siya masyadong motivating sa mga students eh. Kapag gawa ng PowerPoint, positive, clear, tapos bang enticing to view. Yan. May mga moving objects, icons, meron kang pa-games using the PowerPoint, meron kang video embedded sa iyong PowerPoint, hindi siyang monotonous. Iba, no? Kaya nga yan ang ginagawa para kahit mga college students na mahilig pa lang maglalagay ng mga icons mga moving icons, mga GIF sa aking mga presentation. Disadvantages. Equipment failure. This paramount is always happening. The component system does not work. Yan. Hardware, power outage, sa software mismo, nagkakaroon ng glitch. Yan ang mga disadvantages of using PowerPoint. Hindi ka prepared, nag-run out, nag-breakdown, nag-automatic shutdown yung computer, yung laptop, battery nasira, tapos wala kang alternative kasi hindi mo nang bubuksan yung laptop mo. File kung corruption, it happens all the time. It happened to me one time, magde-defend ako sa aking doctoral, my first doctoral, 2007. Last minute, representa ako, no? Yung file sa aking laptop, biglang na-corrupt. Yan yung mga problems. That is something very unfair na last minute, saka magkakaroon ng glitch. Buti na lang, palagi akong may plan B, no? That is my hobby, no? May plan B palagi. Don't be complacent na mag-work so that meron kang reserva. So may dala akong thumb drive. Nasa thumb drive yung aking files. Incompatible media means the incompatible the system available. The best solution is to be aware of the systems to use or own. Our laptop, may mga software minsan na hindi kaya ng laptop. Mababa yung memory specs ng yung laptop. Tapos ang gagamiting PowerPoint is the latest version. Bumabagal siya. Incompatible. Many teachers do not have enough basic knowledge in applying PowerPoint in teaching. Although sa mga age level ninyo, you are now very familiar in using PowerPoint kasi ginagamit sa mga work nyo, no? Iba kasing teachers na talaga nagtuturo, they don't have industry experience sa paggagamitan ng PowerPoint. They are just relying on sa academic life in owning their PowerPoint skills. Minsan wala silang ganun, bagong-bago. Tulad ako, no? The first time I used PowerPoint, siguro mga 1998. Kasi nakita ko doon sa Microsoft Office 1998, 1999. Sabi ko, ano kayo itong PowerPoint? So, pinaglaruan ko siya. That is the word, pinaglaruan ko talaga. I manipulated, natutuwa ako na pag pinindot ko, lumalabas yung barko. Kasi the first time, I can recall na, ang una kong ginawa sa PowerPoint, I created a ship. At natutuwa ako, pinindot ko, lumalabas yung barko. Yung kanyang transition, natutuwa ako. So, starting from that time, ginagamit ko na siya, pinag-aralan ko na siya paano siya ikala. Yung pala, akala ko dati parang ano lang siya dun sa desktop, kung ano lang siya, pala gagamitin pala talaga natin in presenting. Pag nasa office ka kasi, hindi mo masyadong ginagamit ang presentation eh. It's either Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel ang ginagamit. PowerPoint hindi masyado. Pero pag nagtuturo ka na, dun mo talaga magagamit ang PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint for teachers, gamit. Yan, images, daily routine, classroom showcasing, meeting agendas, presenting video, graph, and chart, creating quizzes. Ako mga quizzes ko, pag face-to-face, sa PowerPoint ko sa nilalagay. I don't do dictation sa quizzes. Pag online, presentation. So, nag-move lang sa example, item number 1, slide number 1. Magala lang siya. For the students natin, creative writing classes ang gamit. Poetry, visual interpretation, creating graph, then creating instructions. Creating games, displaying student work, slideshows, and problem-based learning. So, may kanya-kanyang gamit. Depending on, they can interchange. Depending on which side are you in. Are you the teacher or you're the student? So let's move. Academic software naman tayo, ginagamit academic software. And in addition sa mga Word, in addition to the PowerPoint, in addition to Microsoft Excel, meron pa rin mga ginagamit na especially na napakasarap maging teacher kasi ang dami ng katulong. Ang dami mo ng mga kakampi. Pag ikaw ay magsusulat, mag-present, mag-research, mag-rephrasing, meron tayong Grammarly, meron tayong Quillbot na ginagamit, meron tayong Turnitin. Okay, ito mga ginagamit natin. Pero yung mga madalas na the most prominent na software na ginagamit natin is the LMS. The Learning Management System ginagamit natin in teaching, assessment, communication, and researching. Itong MS Team. MS Team is LMS. Learning Management System. Ang Zoom is not Zoom is meeting meeting platform. Google Meet is a meeting platform, pero may Google Room naman tayong ginagamit as LMS naman. Samples ng mga learning management systems. They are centralized content, presenting content, assignment. You can present content, you can present assignment. You can communicate with the students, instructors, and students. Now the more famous LMS, depende sa anong ginagamit ng isang organization or ng inyong school. But we have Canvas, we have Blackboard Learn, we have Moodle, we have MS Team, we have Google Classroom. Ito yung mga samples yan. Canvas, Moodle. Ang pinakauna kong ginamit na LMS is Moodle. Kasi sa university ko, we started online 2015 pa. So before pandemic, wala pang pandemic, gumagamit na kami ng Moodle 2015 kasi online. The school started online in 2015. So Moodle ang pinakauna kong ginamit na LMS. Ang ginagamit natin today in BMC is the MS Team. I'm also using Google Classroom. Depende sa school. May school akong gumagamit ng MS Team, may gumagamit ng Moodle, may gumagamit ng nakakalito minsan, Kasi I handle 5 schools, so bawat school iba-iba ang ginagamit. may ibang ginagamit na management system. Ito yung mga built-in. Pero ang school ay may blackboard din. Ang isang school, they can also create its own in-house learning management system. For example, sa I teach in Ateneo de Cagayan, ang ginagamit namin doon yung talagang Xavier University e-learning platform. Yan, developed by Ateneo Xavier University. So, ginagamit namin ito sa grad school na mga estudyante, mga doctoral students. Yan, so it develop its own learning management system. So, course management systems naman ginagamit. These systems help instructors organize, deliver, assess, track the progress of the students, manage assessment. They often include features like online grading, assignment, submission. Yan. MSTEM at iba pa mga klase ng ginagamit natin. Iba dito yung ginagamit ko, iba hindi mo masyadong familiar. Example, Schoolbox, you can use this one to assess students' submissions. Edmodo, Quizless, ito, quizzes ginagamit ko pa in quizzes na. And Kahoot, I also do Kahoot in doing Quizbee. Kasi masarap ang gamitin Kahoot sa pa-Quizbee sa sa face-to-face face-to-face. Kaya ginagamit. Ang Kahoot kasi it can drive collaboration kasi Quizbee by group, imahan, may collaboration na doon, diba? Tapos drill na rin siya kasi pabilisan sumagot kasi meron siyang timer and also cognitive and interactive din siya nagamit. Now, lipat sa ating lesson naman as topic, the ICT policies and safety issues in teaching and learning. ICT na ginagamit sa schools. A national ICT policy is a policy put into place so that the government and stakeholders can have access to information that is committed being digital technology. Ang example, especially online, online ginagamit natin sa school. Meron din siyang drawback, meron siyang called gray areas na hindi pa laging perfect. Meron implication ng technology sa estudyante, like the student assessment, nature learning to successfully implement technology. Meron siyang So, ang ginawa ng mga stakeholders, they joined forces internationally para ma-address ang issues sa ICT like cyberbullying, unethical use and ethical practices sa using technology sa mga schools, universities. Sabi ni Moji and Smiths, he suggested phrases of ICT. Paano natin magagamit ng maganda ang ICT? So, meron siyang process sa education. Paano sa magamit sa education? Pero sa pagkakasunod-sunod, para safe daw, para mayroong safety policies paggamit ng ayos ng technology sa mga schools, universities, high schools. So, sabi ni Moody and Smith in 2001, he suggested 5 phrases. The first one, incidental and isolated use of ICT by one or more teachers. May mga teachers na gumagamit or merong talagang program or application na silang meron. Dapat yung buong school ay merong uniform na ginagamit na technology or LMS para sa lahat. Hindi isang teacher. Increasing awareness of ICT relevance at all levels. So, yung safety, yung ethical practices daw, paggamit ng technology ay dapat malaman ng lahat ng stakeholders. Emphasis on ICT coordination and hardware, focus on didactic innovation. It means, I forgot to meaning ng didactic. The didactic means didactic. Intended didactic means intended to teach, particularly in having more instruction as an ulterior motive. So didactic innovation is intended for teaching with moral instruction. Ayan. So gagamit ang technology in teaching with moral consideration, moral instruction. Although innovative siya, pero we should be responsible morally sa paggamit ng innovation. Use of ICT integrated teaching and learning that is independent of time and place. And in the Philippines, guys, latest latest data on cyberbullying. This is according to UNICEF for every child. In the Philippine setting, latest national data show that cyberbullying is almost half, halos kalahati daw ng mga edad 13 to 17 ay nakaranas ng cyberbullying. Kalahati, 13 to 17 ng mga high schoolers, senior high schoolers, nakaranas ng cyberbullying. Kalahati. Cyberbullying for males is 44%. Cyberbullying for females is 43%. Okay, so yung malumabot ng kalahati ng cyberbullying, tama ba? Females and males. That is according to UNICEF. That is a data from UNICEF for every child. Now, maganda rin, the government are now doing something to suggesting safety policy measures. Example, independent regulator will be appointed to enforce stringent use standard. Hindi lang school ang nag-check dapat may independent. Diba independent? ICT, Department of the ICT, pwede, no? The ICT. Independent yan eh. They will set the standard when it comes to use of technology sa mga schools. Social media firms must abide by mandatory duty of care to protect users and could face hefty fines if they fail to deliver. And Facebook, I study Facebook is now into this one, duty of care, na ang Facebook now is more ethical na. They are more responsible now. They are now abiding sa mandatory duty of care paggamit sa mga users sa kanilang platform, sa kanilang Facebook. I can recall nga kung nagbenta ka ng animals sa Facebook, mas ginamit ang word na for sale, tapos shutdown, strike down ka ng ang Facebook. So ibig sabihin nakikita natin yung duty of care ng mga platform sa kanilang mga users. Tapos pag nag-post ka ng video about suicide, pag-notify yung Facebook sa'yo. Azures are the first of their kind in the world in the flight to make the internet a safer place. Ngayon guys, may magsabi ng isang law, isang international, although sa United Kingdom ginagamit itong e-safety toolkit for school. Ibig sabihin yan, schools are now mandated na mas maging responsible pagdating sa mga gamit ng kanilang mga technology. Kaya meron silang e-safety toolkit for schools. Let me see kung meron ako dito yung toolkit. Okay, so tingnan natin sa toolkit ng mga schools. Okay, there. Anyway, pag sinabi natin toolkit is a mandate, a protocol na dapat susunod ng mga schools. Yeah. The purpose of this one is creating safer online environment sa mga users. Ang sa lahat ng dapat abiding with the safety toolkit for schools. Okay, so this is my last slide. Ito mga yung sa toolkit, a safety toolkit for schools. Itong pinapagamit, preparing. The school should be prepared in implementing the policy. So dapat may naka-ready daw na mga policy when it comes to implementing safety in use of technology, cyberbullying, or use of social media sa schools. After preparing, dapat daw ay engaging all members of your school community should be active participants in creating and maintaining safe online environment. Engage resources to encourage the participation of the school community, teachers, mga outside community, parents, association dapat involved dyan sa ano. Kasi hindi kaya ng school na siya lang yung mag-implement ng e-safety. So dapat away din mga parents. Kasi pag uwi ng bata sa bahay, yung parents na yung nandoon na nagmo-monitor. Especially sa mga 13 to 17 years old. Educate, preventing an online incident is always better than having to respond to one. Ito maganda, no? Yung talagang, huwag ka na mag-antay na may mangyaring cyberbullying. That somebody will commit suicide because of cyberbullying. Ang maganda, yung before it happens, you educate yung mga staff lahat, staff, students, lalo school community, para hindi na mangyari yung Kasi, we know that prevention is better than cure. Maganda yung beforehand. Ginagawa na ng paraan. Now, pag hindi na-educate at nangyari talaga yung incident, so meron ka ng respond. There must be protocol processes in place in case an incident happens so that it is controlled appropriately. Pag may nangyaring bullying, you can show in YouTube video, may nangyaring bullying, hindi natin alam kung alam ng schools yun. The respond, support schools to evaluate and respond to online incident effectively. Anong mangyayari? Yung victim lang ba yung tututukan or yung culprit or yung gumawa din? So pareho, kasi mamaya masyadong na-reprimand, masyadong na-interrogate yung gumawa ng bullying, epekto rin pala sa kanya. So pwede rin mag-isip niya ng ng kung ano-ano, di ba? So dapat both parties should be responded to. Okay guys, so I know this one is the last slide for today, and these are my references for all the presentations, and thank you for attending on this topic. Hoping to see you around next time. Pwede mo mag-request sa inyo. Subscribe naman sa aking munting channel. And with that one, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off. Magandang hapon sa inyo. Bye-bye.